And yeah.
Hey,
How we
look
doing?
at that. Look at that. We are live. We are live. Welcome in, everybody, to a pretty impromptu live stream on the DLF YouTube channel. So you guys know me, of course, Addison Hayes. You guys might not know Connor. So Connor is is an employee of the 4for4 side. On the redraft side, does a lot on the betting side of 4for4, the 4for4 bets channel too. Podcast, Move the Line podcast. So Connor, welcome to the DLF side.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Excited to do, I think, a couple different drafts with our newest partner, FastDraft. We'll get into that in a little bit, but really cool platform they're building. As you guys can see in the middle here, we're waiting for this rookie-only Origins draft to fill. It last one filled right before we got on, so we had to fire up another one. So we're waiting a little bit here, but I figured we could talk about maybe some strategy too. If we have time, because the more I do these, like the more I'm thinking about like different strategies.
Sure. Yeah. So for anybody out there, it says on the side of this kind of the screen, you can sign up for a fast draft through the App Store on Google Play or iOS. And if you sign up, you can use the promo code DLF. You will get a $50 deposit match. It will match whatever your deposit is, up to $50. And if you do that in the next couple of minutes and you join an Origin draft, you might get into the one that we're waiting on here. We're still waiting on 2 more slots to fill. But you can just continue playing. The Origins is a very interesting kind of format, I should say, for a best ball kind of style. It's rookie only. You get thrown into a pool of 10 other teams, 10 people to draft against, and you're only drafting rookies. And this locks up to the NFL draft, so we aren't going to know landing spots for any of these guys, and it's just purely how well do you know these rookies. How much do you trust or stay in tune with draft news, all that kind of stuff, to where, yeah, the first round might be kind of easy. You're just picking a bunch of first rounders, second rounders, these top running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks in this class. But when you get down, it's 6 rounds total. When you get down into those rounds 4, 5, 6, it gets pretty interesting in terms of the sleepers that you can go through and the strategies that you were talking about that you could kind of implement.
Yeah, and since it's a best ball strategy, so it takes your 4 highest scorers each week and makes a lineup for you. So that's kind of the nicest part about doing this is, like, we're going to draft these now, and then Addison and I will probably forget about it until, I don't know, mid-season, and check in maybe via Slack DMs and work, and then can see how they're doing. So it's kind of fun. $10 entry, $5K up top, and I think there's a little bit of an edge here. So I was going through some of the drafts before, like. I think that there's a massive influx of Dynasty community who knows these prospects really well, but is looking at like maybe a longer term lens, whereas this is only this year. So like, when does Shedeur Sanders play? Does he start right away? That could be, maybe that makes him worth the 2nd pick instead of the 5th. If he's not going to play right away, or maybe he gets drafted in the mid to late 2nd round, he might not be worth a first round pick in this format at all, because you don't know when he's going to play. So I think there's a lot of different things you can consider, draft capital being one of them. So yeah, we have only 1 slot remaining left here to fill, but we talked about it before the draft. Travis Hunter, -300 right now to go to the Cleveland Browns, 2nd overall pick. And in that scenario, Andrew Berry already came out. GM said that he will likely be a full-time wide receiver with some snaps at corner. So I think that changes his value here too.
Yeah, that's the dream from a fantasy football side for Travis Hunter specifically. That's why, I was hoping that would be the case if he went to New England. He'd be paired with Drake May, instant wide receiver 1 in that offense. And then he wouldn't need to be pressured into being a cornerback, because they also have Gonzalez on the opposite side. So it would kind of work perfectly where they could utilize his talents on both sides of the field, but he would still primarily be a wide receiver. But I think it would work well in Cleveland. Just like you said, they just got to figure out the quarterback issue.
Yeah, right. I think one guy too that's really, I guess I'm not too worried about stream snipers right now, but one guy that I think is way down there, Matthew Golden, is like a legit chance to be the first wide receiver off the board. I don't know if I love Matthew Golden from like a talent perspective, but he's going to be a 1st round pick. He's going to be maybe the first wide receiver off the board. He's going to be thrust into a big role. I don't know. Like, I don't think that he should be going 14th here behind. Again, maybe we like Luther Burden more, but he's almost certainly going to be drafted ahead of Luther Burden based on odds and what people are predicting right now.
Yeah, I think that in the opposite way, I've seen just from you scrolling through. So we're drafting on Connor's phone. It's not legal in Pennsylvania, so that's why Connor's here, because I can't actually play. It is apparently coming to PA very soon, but I am not drafting. So that's why Connor is on here too. So we're drafting on his phone that he's screen sharing. But yeah, some of these names that are at the very top, like I saw Ollie Gordon, I felt like was pretty high. As I don't know what number
Yeah,
running
right here,
back it would
second
be. Oh
round.
man, him and Samson. I understand like there's opportunities there if somebody loves them in the NFL, but I feel like you got Scadaboo there. I feel like I would take him over Ollie Gordon. So there's also I think some inefficiencies there from an ADP standpoint. That man, Woody Marks being that high, I think is pretty crazy too. Holy crap. Yeah, there's definitely Jalen Milroe being that low. If you want to take the shot on him being a starter, or even maybe not a starter immediately, but at some point in the season, I feel like he's a better bet than a lot of these other guys that, if you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing with these rookies, I feel like you could capitalize on a lot of this stuff pretty easily.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Like, yeah, if you're deep in the weeds, like, I know the top guys pretty well. I know roughly where they should be after the first 2, 3 rounds. I mean, you get a little bit deeper. I've kind of been thinking about the approach of, taking high upside swings on like quarterback, because then you technically don't need their points the first, whatever, X amount of weeks. But if, say, Will Howard starts later, or Jalen Milroe, I mean, if Jalen Milroe starts, like, he's like a board fringe QB1 no matter what in fantasy, because he's going to be running so much. Like, it's, he could be terrible, and that could still be the case. So I think that's kind of a fun swing there to take potentially. And then, I don't know. What do you think about Brashard Smith? I liked watching him at SMU, but this feels like a little low to him, but I don't know what his draft stock is right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's just in that kind of mix of all these day 3 running backs. I mean, it's kind of like the meat of this running back class is like we have a few names at the top. Obviously, Genty, Hampton, the Ohio State guys, Caleb Johnson. But then you have like I've seen people just say like 6 through 15 is just however you want to go about it. And then
Okay.
I think a lot of people are just kind of waiting to see what the NFL tells us. So, I mean, I really like Brashad Smith. I think that he has an awesome opportunity, but I mean, I don't see much of a difference between him. I'm a big Jarquez Hunter fan. Taj Brooks, I think, is really good too. I think that there's just as many opportunities for those guys. Jaden Blue, if somebody's really into the speed aspect of Jaden Blue. LaQuint Allen was a massive pass catcher at Syracuse. Terrence Ferguson absolutely killed the combine as an athletic tight end. I mean, you just got so many names down here that you can really make a case for. We just need the NFL to also kind of feel that same way.
Yeah, and I think that they're gonna. So this contest obviously closes before the NFL draft. I think that they're gonna launch another contest after the NFL draft as well. So that's kind of nice too. That player pools won't be mixed up, because like the complaint that we hear our other best ball drafts is like, oh, like people who drafted before the draft get like insane values on some random guys, and all it takes is to strike a couple of rookies right, late. Then obviously post draft, once we have more information, people are going to be in trouble. So like then it's just like tough to gain leverage essentially in those situations. So I like the way they're doing it. It's going to be chopped here before the NFL draft, and we're still waiting on one more person to fill this. This last one
more person
has been lingering for like, I don't know, a couple minutes now, but it's the good part about this too, it's only 6 rounds, flies by. We'll be done with this draft in probably less than 5 minutes once it gets going.
20 seconds per pick, right? So
yeah, yep. Oh yeah, which is, I mean, I don't know which drafts. Most other draft platforms are like a minute to a minute and a half in terms of like regular redraft stuff. This 20 seconds. I mean, these things. It's. I guess it's named FastDraft for a reason, right? I think that's the point.
Absolutely. The last thing, I think that was interesting from how this format or for how this draft is kind of formatted too is after the draft they have these things called boosters, which are already pre-populated in terms of the round that you took them. But it's kind of like if you play like DraftKings, like the showdown format where you can select a captain that gets extra like 1.5x on their fantasy points. This also has that too. So, you can pick the top rookie that you want to be associated. I think the number 1 is 2x, then it's 1.75, then you get a couple 1.5s, and then a couple 1s. But you can change who you want those rookies to be associated with those extra, points up through I think into September, right? Basically before the season starts.
I think the lock day was September 4th. So like, say one of your late round guys ends up getting drafted in just like in a 6th spot, or like the starter gets injured in preseason, you then have like a massive edge. You can put him in your 2x booster or whatever booster spot and then get more points for it. So I think there's a lot of strategy behind the scenes here, especially with like, I love, using newer platforms because it's just like less of a solved game. So like, you have a million amount of articles on other platforms about different strategies and who to draft and who to do this. Like it's pretty cool that I think this is like a kind of an unsolved game, which is fun. It's like a new puzzle. And also it's like you get less poo-pooed for making the wrong answer on, things like that. Like, oh, like if I draft 5 running backs in a row, like, I don't know, maybe some strategy will come out in a year that's like, that's the dumbest thing ever, but we're out here having fun and it makes sense.
Yeah, especially with rookies. Like, I mean, if there's no positional requirements, it's just take the best players that you think are going to score the most fantasy points. Like you could take 6 quarterbacks if you wanted to. You could take 6 tight ends. You could do whatever you want. We don't know what the strategies are for this. Oh, we just joined.
We are live and we have the first pick. Oh,
we got
let's
101.
Let's
Dude,
go.
you couldn't draw that up any better for the live.
I mean, that is incredible. That's electric. I'm partial to Genty here. I think
we're taking Genty.
Okay, I was about to say. I mean, I like Cam Ward in a sense that he's going to start. He's probably going to play a lot. Like, that's good fantasy points there. But I mean, Genty is just he's a clear one, I think, in this draft.
Yeah, he absolutely. Man, I was thinking to myself, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we got the one on this draft? But I was like more prepared for. We're gonna have to talk about which do we want, Judkins or Caleb Johnson, or do we want like Luther Burden? I was prepared for that conversation, and we just went right for Ashton Genty. We couldn't have planned that any better.
Oh, it's so good. Well, I guess it also too, it's worth noting, so they implement a 3rd round reversal. So we're gonna get our 2nd round pick, and then we'll have our 3rd round pick until the end of the 3rd. So that's I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's a tax for getting Genty, but it's just a little bit of an uphill climb with the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I like that Cam Ward. Like the top of this draft, I think is going to be very chalky. I know I'm able to do mock drafts for this, so there are mock drafts that you can kind of like go in and get a feel for ADP and stuff like that against computers. So I did go in and do that. And I did feel like this first round gets just very chalky, especially with the top of the running backs. You get, Travis Hunter and Tet McMillan in here. Shador's going to go at some point in this first round.
Yep.
So it's just I feel like this first round is just pretty chalky.
Oh yeah, totally. And then I think it starts getting interesting around now, because then you have like Judkins and then Caleb Johnson. It seems like he's going to be like a day 2 guy probably, whereas. And same with Judkins. Judkins and Caleb Johnson, day 2 guy. Luther Burden and Emeka Ibuka are both on the first round fringe. I could see either sneaking in kind of like the late first round. And then Tyler Warren, like it's tough because tight ends don't initially normally pop. I mean, historically, but they have been more in recent years. And you're getting him at like, again, early 2nd round. I don't know. I think that it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the past 2 years in a row, we've had a rookie tight end being the tight end 1 overall with Laporta and Bowers. So.
Also, Tyler Warren's just fun, man. I mean, like if you land in the right place, he'll land a quarterback. He could play a little bit, line him up out wide, put him in the slot. Like, I mean, if he goes to the right place, you're right, exactly. That play was so sick. That was awesome. Snaps the ball and then mosses a guy downfield.
Yep.
Listen,
man. You don't need to sell me on Tyler Warren. My Penn State fandom is enough already.
Oh, I forgot you're a Penn State guy. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so good. Sorry. So we're coming up to our pick. We're like, we're 5 picks away at this point. We're looking at probably one of these guys, maybe a Colston Loveland, Imanor, Jalen Noel, Higgins. I'm kind of fine with it going any direction here because to me, I'm not as well versed in this range as you are probably.
Yeah, I think you got to play the draft capital game if we get a couple of these names still that fall to us, because I think like Samson, I feel like could be a day 3 pick. Ollie Gordon, I think could be a day 3 pick. Devin Neal's a day 3 pick. So I think we're looking at Loveland's going to be a first rounder. Oh, never mind.
Oh, just one, unfortunately.
The Iowa State kids, Jalen Noel and Noel and Jaden Higgins, I think are interesting. I would probably go Higgins here if it were me.
I think so too. Because I mean, there's like some hype recently saying like, oh, this guy belongs in the first round. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's crazy. I mean, we saw it last year with Ricky Pearsall snuck into the first round. We saw Xavier Legette sneak into the first round. So I don't know. Anything's possible. I think towards the end of the first round, things get wonky. So, and even an early 2nd round pick, you feel pretty good. The guy's going to be out there a lot. If he's talented, then he'll earn targets. So,
Yep, exactly. I've seen him mock to Buffalo. I've seen him mock to the Chargers. Kind of like one of those teams that still needs that kind of X outside wide receiver. And if he lands in a situation where he has a good quarterback like Buffalo or LA, I mean, that would be phenomenal, especially in this format too, getting him at the 210.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So it looks like our next pick is going to be pick 30. So we're looking at, I don't know how to pronounce the VTech running back's name.
Bashal
We just,
Tutin.
yeah, Bashal Tuden. He just went anyway. So he might have been a little undervalued. He went a good bit above where his ADP is, according to this. Um, Isaiah Bond, I don't know, got some hype, and then now it's kind of falling out. Was he the guy who said he was going to run like a 4.2 and then ran like a 4.4?
Yep. Yep, that was him.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
he's not good.
that's a tough look, man. Yeah. That's like a
Yeah.
negative. I feel like that's got to be like a con on most people's sheets. If you think you're going to break the record, then just be average.
That's it wasn't my book. I was like, how are you going to do that, man? How are you going to come out, prop yourself up like that, and then you're not even faster than your own teammate? So it's just,
dude, crazy.
it is what it is.
Any of
All
these
right, we're
guys
probably
stand
gonna have
out
to
to
make a
you?
pick.
Yeah, we got to get two of them. So that's
Did Damian Martinez already go? Oh nope, he's still
no,
there.
he's there. Yeah, Damian Martinez is there.
Martinez is interesting. I like Jalen Royals as well. As another kind of draft capital guy, he could be a sneaky kind of into round 2, more likely around 3.
Okay, nice.
Royals and Martinez stick out to me as the two guys
Perfect.
that I would go with.
Well, let's roll with that then. We'll go with Royals and then Damian Martinez. What's the deal on Damian Martinez?
He is Quinshon Judkins light. I think that he's not getting the hype that he deserves necessarily right now because he kind of, he played for Miami. So yeah, they had Cam Ward, but they didn't go and win the championship like Ohio State did. Never really had that massive year of production either, like Judkins had at Ole Miss a couple years ago. But Martinez is basically at the same size. He's got the receiving ability. He's got the power. He's got the juice. He's kind of got all of that. I think that if you like Quinshon Judkins, you would also like Damian Martinez, and with getting him a little bit cheaper, NFL teams I think are also going to view him as a guy that they can get cheaper. And he might, I could see him being a day 2 pick, but again, I feel like all these running backs are day 3 guys that. But if he lands in that right opportunity, I could see him being not so much like this year's Bucky Irving to a degree, or that running back Tyrone Tracy, that rookie running back that just kind of pops. Damian Pierce, I should say.
Yep.
That kind of rookie running back.
I think if you look at this point of the draft too, from a strategic standpoint, running back is such an interesting position that you can get a guy who he's one injury away from being fantasy relevant, which is what matters for us. Whereas like wide receivers, like they just might not be good at this point in the draft, or like, they're obviously players will pop from now and then, but like sometimes it takes years to develop. In Dynasty, it matters significantly more in this 1 year redraft format. Like Damian Martinez could be starting running back by week 10 somewhere just because of an injury, or he just played awesome. Like, it's, I think kind of the beauty of what this is, which I think is not necessarily fully reflected in the market, but looks like another 8 or 9 picks away, pick 50. So you're looking probably in this range here. This is where things get tough. I don't know a ton about these guys, to be honest, in this range.
You are taking the ultimate dart throws in this range. These are all, I mean, we can't even play like the draft capital game of like this guy might sneak into day 2. All these guys are day 3 picks. Boy,
Oof.
I like Gadsden, but I don't think he gets the draft capital to even support a pick this high. Ty Felton might be a good name.
Okay, Ty Felton.
He's got Maryland. A little DJ Moore out of him.
Okay,
that might be a little helmet scouting because DJ Moore also came out of Maryland. But
yep,
Ricky White is an interesting name.
What do you think about Donovan Edwards? Are you out on Donovan Edwards? I can take Ty Felton here, but
I'm not out on Donovan Edwards. I think that he's a good running back. But
he's like a day 3 guy. I mean, he's just a guy he's a player that I know more. But I mean, like one of these other running backs.
Would you be interested in Tyler Shuck, the quarterback out of Louisville, right there? Tyler,
let's do it. I mean, he's going to be a day 2 pick. Like like an early 2nd round pick. I mean, there was some 1st round talk. I don't know. I don't think no way he goes 1st round. But I mean, 2nd or 3rd round pick, that wouldn't be surprising at all.
Yeah, I think that if you are looking for, you mentioned kind of before this draft started a strategy of trying to take a quarterback that, maybe some things could happen through training camp, or, an injury happens in season. Now you've got a starter, especially at the quarterback position for fantasy. I feel like Tyler Shuck might be that name at this range where, he could be a guy that, maybe a team views him as a more longer term answer, but also could be a guy that could get thrown in, halfway through the year if the starter gets hurt above him or just doesn't play well.
Right. No, totally. And it's the big swings we got to take in this like type of format because again, it's like a large field tournament. Like we're not trying to just beat these 9 fellas here. We're trying to beat,
Mhm.
I think it's like
Thousands.
1,000 other people, whatever. It's a lot of other people. Yeah. So like we got to kind of run pure. So you got to take some big swings at the end, I think. I personally take on that kind of mantra of like, take big swings. I would rather win like nothing than like min cash and like make $10. Like it's not what I'm in
Sure.
there for. Like I want to win big or go home. So this is kind of the end that we were talking about here with the boosters. So again, total draft time, 9 minutes and 21 seconds. Pretty solid. Once you get in there, format smooth, easy to use. Like, I don't think the ADP is like outrageously sharp or anything like that. And then you can adjust the boosters based on the way we drafted. I don't have any adjustments now. Now this could change. I mean, again, if Tyler Shook is getting starts, like he's going to be the 1.75 or 2x probably. Preseason. So I don't know. Any thoughts here or any like adjustments that stand out, or is it fine the way we have it?
No, I think it's fine the way that we have it right now, but I would be like, I'd be ready to go after draft weekend of, mix and matching some of these. Like if Damian Martinez lands somewhere great on round 3, like I wouldn't be surprised if you had an argument to move him up to 1.75 or 1.5, or just swap Higgins and Royals, or, like you said, like if Shuck ends up going somewhere, maybe he's the round 2. Oh my gosh, like the Giants took him, or or the Browns took him or something like that in round 2. You're just like, hey, actual maybe starter, bump him up. So I wouldn't do anything now, but I'd be ready to do it after the NFL draft.
Totally. We also took like 2 guys at the turn, on the 3-4 turn and 5-6 turn with Royals and Martinez, Felton and Shug, whereas now they're getting like a different boost. So like I could easily see us swapping Martinez and Royals probably like, before the season, just based off that alone. But yeah, your rationale makes a ton of sense there. I don't think there was anything else on this screen. We were not the fastest or the slowest drafter. That's probably a good thing. I mean, not the slowest drafter considering we are live streaming this is, I think, a pretty solid spot to be in because we could have easily just milked every single clock.
Right. Absolutely. But I mean, you only got 20 seconds. So it's kind of like you've got to make your decisions, man, pretty quickly.
Yeah, totally.
I will say, I noticed that Kyle Williams's ADP on this was really, really low.
Yeah.
I thought he went after our Damian Martinez pick, like mid 4th or 5th round.
Interesting.
I don't remember who took him, but he's a name that, I saw whenever you were scrolling ADP beforehand. And then also whenever I saw him on the draft board at taken, I'm just like, hey, if you can get Kyle Williams that late, I would not be shocked if he was a 2nd round pick and he's not getting the hype and the love that I think he deserves, especially in a format like this.
Wow. Yeah, I can circle back here to the, I'm not going to enter another one, I don't think, but yeah, let's hear. Rankings. Okay. So you're saying Kyle Williams, let's see here. He was way down there. Really? Oh my gosh, I'm still scrolling. Where is it? There he is. Yeah, look at that. Kyle Williams, 53. That's pretty wild.
That is low. I mean, if you're trying to play this and you're playing you're a little bit sharper and you're trying to play the ADP game, I think Kyle Williams being that low is pretty insane, especially, you can play the whole draft capital thing. I think that there's a fair shot that he's a day 2 pick. And I would not be shocked, like I said, if he ended up being an actual round 2 pick. He's getting, he's making visits all over the place. People have been saying maybe that they pair him in Tennessee with Cam Ward because they used to play together at Washington State. He really wants to go to Houston, and there's an obvious need there. And I think he did a top 30 visit with Houston last week. And he's met with a couple other teams already that, there's smoke in the Kyle Williams camp that, it might be possible.
Oh, I like that. I have 0% ownership right now, so I don't love that. So I'm going to have to probably do a couple more drafts and maybe fire up some Kyle Williams late because, I mean, you're getting him with basically your last pick. Could probably even reach around before and it would be solid. But
yep, I think it was a 4th rounder in that one that we just did.
Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Should be probably again, third or fourth rounder probably makes sense based on what you're saying. But yeah, that's awesome. I think this went pretty well. I thought our team turned out great, and it was good. This is something that I think you and potentially myself, potentially other guests will be doing, every week for the next, I guess until the NFL draft for sure, and then maybe after with the new contest that launches.
What other contests do they have on here, real quick, just so, because it's not just the Origins.
Yeah, so this is the Flex 4 is like the full lineup, right, basically. So you have like the full NFL. So it's not just rookies, essentially. Still same format though. Best ball, 10 teams, 6 rounds. And it's just like everyone is there. So I think you can gain a lot of edge by drafting players who just won't be drafted at all, essentially, in this format. And then they also have a defense only $10 tournament, D up. That's like, I think IDP people would probably love. It's like $10 again, defense only. So they're doing some really cool tournaments. I think they're, rapidly expanding, opening up new ideas and thoughts in the space, and like just trying to be more user friendly in a best ball space that, I don't think is, is still going through a lot of innovation and figuring that out. So I like what they're doing here.
Yeah, for sure. And they're not available in every single state just yet. They're not available in PA. So I couldn't play today. But maybe in the future, maybe we'll get it here and we'll have 2 screens up simultaneously. That could be fun.
That'd be great. But, draft against each other.
Yeah, that would be cool. But for now, again, if you want to play, you can sign up for FastDraft. You can find it on the Apple iOS store or the Google Play Store. Use promo code DLF when you sign up and register. You can get a deposit match for up to $50. Play in these formats. And like Connor said, I think we'll be back. I think we're doing this once a week up until the NFL draft. We'll continue to do Origins. Maybe we'll throw a Flex 4 in there too. Maybe we'll do 2 of them one day. But yeah, up at least until the NFL draft, you have time to do that Origins one. And then if they open up that other contest post NFL draft, we'll see if we can get into those as well. But appreciate everybody for hanging out with us and signing up, especially too. And I'm terrible at outros, so that's pretty much it. Anything else to say, Connor?
No, I got nothing else. Good time chopping it up, and we'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Later.